What's happening, everybody? It's Sean with Reactions to the Classics, and today we got another Bright Eyes reaction. This time we're going to do back-to-back EPs, the first two, every day and every night, and don't be frightened of turning the page. Brought to us by a friend, longtime supporter, and of course, Bright Eyes super fan, Caitlin. Thank you, Caitlin. Appreciate you. Appreciate all the patrons who make this thing go. If you'd like to support us in any way, check out that Patreon link below or the patron link on the end screen. We could not do it without him. All right, I'm not going to get into the history of Bright Eyes. There is a ton of Bright Eyes. Most of it brought by Caitlin up on the channel. So either search in that little bar up top, just type in Bright Eyes, or look at the playlist of Bright Eyes, and you're going to see a ton of stuff that I've done. But I haven't done these. Now, I have come across a few of these songs, but listen, I've listened to them one time. I might not even remember them just because I listen to a lot of music. So I absolutely love Bright Eyes. I say this in every one of my reviews and reactions that I do for him. I think Conor Oberst is one of the best songwriters of this century, and I don't throw that around lightly. I listen to a lot of music. I read thousands and thousands of songs of lyrics every single year, so I know a little bit about what I'm talking about there. But let's jump into the first EP, Every Day and Every Night. It was released by Saddle Creek Records, of course, on November 1st, 1999. It comes between 1998's Letting Off the Happiness and 2000's Fever and Mirrors, which I do have a reaction to that one up. Conor references his album art in another of his songs, Waste of Paint, from the album Lifted, or The Story is in the Soil, Keep Your Ear to the Ground. In the first verse, he sings that a friend, most likely Zach Nipper, once cut one of my nightmares out of paper. Oh, I thought it was beautiful. I put it on a record cover. It's this record cover. All right, let's get into the first track. We have a line allows progress, a circle does not. Now, usually there's a ton of research I can find on Bright Eyes. There's nothing on these, but guess what? Because he's one of the best songwriters of this century, we're going to be able to figure it out from the lyrics. So if you haven't been with us before, I won't have the music up in the video, but it will be at a Vimeo link below. So click on that if you want to hear the whole reaction with the music. You just want to know what I think? Just stay right here. I'm going to have the lyrics up as always. Thanks again, Caitlin. All right, a line allows progress, a circle does not. I don't know who that is singing on there with him. That's surely not Conor in a different voice, but I can't find it anywhere because like I said, there's not a lot of info on this. So this song just takes you through, I'm sure it's autobiographical or pretty close to what Conor's going through, not only the drinking and substance problems, but also the eating disorder, saying how he just wants to get away from it, mainly for the people that he loves, but then he just can't get away, right? The cycle is too vicious because at the very end, he tells you, but now it's so easy to second guess everything you do until all you want is to finish this half empty glass before the ice melts away. This feeling always used to pass. Seems like it's every day. Seems like it's every night now. So it's getting worse and worse, which is what addiction does, right? It spirals you until you reach a breaking point, either with your health or something else catastrophic happens. But unfortunately, when we're caught in addiction, we usually just don't go, yeah, I'm done. Like, it doesn't work that way because it's got a hold on. Next up, we have A Perfect Sonnet. A Perfect Sonnet. You really feel Conor's emotion on this. I need to point out that Conor was 19 years old when he did this, so let that sink in, because the illusions and all the lines, I'm not going to get into them all, but there's obviously some Shakespeare in there with the sonnet, but there's a lot of other stuff in there. That little Hammurabi and the codes on adultery in the first part, like tie them together, like thrown in a river, tie those people together, throw them in a river, all this stuff. But this song, the way he builds and the instrumentation sounds so much like Soul Asylum's Runaway Train that I couldn't get it out of my head from like the very start. But great lyricism, and I mean, he's just jaded, right? He can't find someone that he loves. He can't stay faithful to him. Then he finds a girl, they have a fling, but then she leaves him. So he just can't, he can't find it. He just has disdain for it. Right at the end, he calls it, those people, their arrogance that are together. So really good track. Next up, we got something that most of us don't enjoy doing. On My Way to Work. All right, On My Way to Work. Finished out like a minute worth of chatter, I guess you would say. But he's kind of painting the picture of the angst, right? And we're not really knowing why we're here. The second verse, because we're all making money, we're all effing alone, and we don't know what we are doing. Maybe just buying us some hope, because we know that we are lonely. Yeah, lonely, that's for sure. And the older ones are coughing, the older ones are dying. Maybe we are all dying. And that then he passes this graveyard and wonders about the guy that was just buried there because it's a fresh grave. Did he go peacefully, or was he like fighting for breath? And at the last verse, maybe it's me who's this unstable, always obsessed about the end. Why can't I let what happens happen and just enjoy the time I spend? Oh, how I wish it was that easy when there was no point to anything. It gets a bit confusing. Why is it I keep going? Why is it that we keep going? Some heavy, heavy topics. Next up, we have a new arrangement. A new arrangement. I really could have done without the 1 minute outro of that. I understand what they're trying to do kind of artistically, but they kind of did it on the last song too. And we got to remember, man, they're young and they're trying to figure things out, right? They don't do this in their later albums. A lot of artists do. There's nothing wrong with it. It works sometimes, but sometimes it doesn't. But a new arrangement. So basically, this person's depressed and they're calling him in to kind of ask them to answer for themselves towards the end. So I think he's kind of getting to the point of like, when you're depressed, you're down, or when you have substance abuse and stuff, people tend to blame you and look at you a different way in kind of an accusatory way. I mean, some of the things are your decisions. I get that, but a lot of it's not. It's not like you're choosing to be that way. And once again, the substance abuse, all that stuff gets tricky, right? We don't want to get into that too much, but I mean, you're walking around depressed and having mental health issues. It's not like you chose that, right? 95% of the time. So, but people have this kind of like, you got to get over this. What are you doing? Answer for yourself. Tell me what, in that kind of way. And I think that's what he's trying to get at. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think that's what he's getting at. All right, we're up to the last track on this EP. We got Neely O'Hara, who is a character from Valley of the Dolls, written by Jacqueline Susan. All right, Neely O'Hara. I'll tell you what didn't work for me was that long drawn in. I get what they're trying to do again. It was just too long and too much, right? I get it. But once again, like I said, they're young and they're just experimenting. But that's 3 songs in a row where it's really not necessary, but they don't do it later on. I understand the artistic stuff they're trying to bring. Neely O'Hara is a character in Valley of the Dolls. She's a movie star. She becomes addicted to pills. She has to take a pill at night, and she has to take another pill. She has to take a pill to go to sleep, a pill to get up. The pills start to consume her, right? So she doesn't know who she is. So I think it's definitely autobiographical to some extent for Connor, But do you think that someone paints your mirror? So that's going to be something we're going to play on later on in the next EP a little bit in one of the songs. And you think that things sound different at the time when you speak. Well, there are visions much clearer than these blurs that you see. And like Neely O'Hara, you swallow your sleep and wake up in the morning to find out you're not who you used to be. You don't recognize your behavior that's phoning you. So we get all of those things of like it has totally changed you. So I thought that was a really good song. It is diminished a little bit by the way it ends, but you know what? You may love it. And like I said, I get what they're trying to do. I mean, it doesn't ruin the song totally for me, but it just is not the best way to finish off the EP for me. So I'll go ahead and do everything that I always do. I'll give you my favorite tracks that are great for the EP, and then we'll move on to Don't Be Frightened of Turning the Page. So my favorite tracks are going to be A Line Allows Progress, A Circle Does Not, and A Perfect Sonnet, the first 2. Neely O'Hara would be an honorable mention, I guess. Probably would have been a fave if it wasn't for the ending part. But so overall great on this EP. I mean, there's only 5 songs, right? 2 of them are faves, 1's an honorable mention. 2 of them are fine. I'm going to give it a 7.0 overall, which is still a really good grade. Like, they're finding themselves. They're doing their thing, man. Connor's Connor, whether he's 19 or not. Still really good writing on this, even, at 19 years of age. All right, now we're going to turn the page, man, that's a bad joke, to Don't Be Frightened of Turning the Page. It was released in 2000, exclusively in Japan and the UK. The track list contains the 4 Bright Eyes songs that appear on the 2001 split EP with Sun Ambulance, Oh Holy Fools, the music of Sun Ambulance, and Bright Eyes, as well as 2 additional songs. The track Mirrors and Fevers was used as the intro to 2006's Rarities compilation, Noise Floor, Rarities 1998 to 2005. The track I Won't Ever Be Happy Again can also be found on the split EP, the one with Sun Ambulance, In Sound Tour Support Series number 12. However, on this release is a different, cleaner recording with drums and a full band, whereas the other was a more lo-fi recording with just acoustic guitar and other acoustic instruments, as well as some lyrical changes. You're going to have to be a deep, deep Bright Eyes fan to get anything out of that last part, the different versions and what it's on and all that stuff. But I wanted to put it on there because you might be a deep Bright Eyes fan. And we're going to start off with Going for the Gold. Now, this EP is actually not available on Spotify, so I've got to pull the songs from different places, but we'll get to the same place. All right, Going for the Gold, a powerful song, right? Starts out with there's a voice on the other end telling him some bad news, but he's so drugged out, possibly for lithium, for the mania, for the mental health stuff, that he can't really react to it. And then they get upset because he can't react to it. So then the jury's formed, people are talking about him, and it doesn't matter. He's going to get on the next airplane and be gone. But if I could talk to myself like I was someone else, well, then maybe I could take your advice and I wouldn't act like such a blank all the time. And then talking about other people, poets and songwriters, I think, who write stuff about their angst. And he's kind of making fun of that. But then he said, as I make my final lap, the gold medal gleams. So hanging around my neck, because I'm deserving it, the champion of idiots. So a really, really good song, very well written, very well arranged. I mean, I didn't talk about that a lot in the first one, but their arrangements are usually really good in relation to the lyrics. And you can tell on this one, just being a little bit later on, really a year later on when it's released, like the arrangement of this is perfect. Low key, but beautiful. So well done on the first track. And next up, my man Connor never worried about too long of a song title. I love it. We got Oh, You Are the Roots That Sleep Beneath My Feet and Hold the Earth in Place. Oh, you are the roots that sleep beneath my feet and hold the earth in place. The only thing that confused me was the very end of that song, because I thought I had this song down, but I met you through a common friend in the attic at my parents' house, and though I didn't know it then, I was soon finding out you're the roots that sleep beneath my feet and hold the earth in place. Each time a faucet opens, words are spoken, the water runs away, and I hear your name. Nothing has changed. So he still cares about this person no matter how far away he's got from them, right? No matter what has happened in life. I think some of us have people like that in our lives. They may be years or decades in the past, but we still feel the same way about them, or at least think that we do. So his life kind of takes a turn, right? Now I sing and drink and sleep on floors and try hard not to be annoyed by all these people worrying about me. So when I'm suffering through some awful drive, you occasionally cross my mind. It's my hidden hope that you're still among them. Well, are you? So does this person still care? So the only part I don't get is the end. Oh, you are the roots that sleep beneath my feet and hold the earth in place. Each time a curtain opens, sunlight pours in. A lifetime melts away. So I get all that, but the very last, and we share a name on some picturesque grave. So I don't think it's maybe really a grave. I guess, I kind of get it now. Never mind. So you can just see this play out live. I'm not even editing this. So maybe he's thinking they would have got married someday. I don't know, but it's really, really well done. And it's a little different because at least the first half of it's upbeat. It's a little more upbeat than some of the other stuff has been, just lyrically. Okay, next up we have I Won't Be Happy Again. Now, I was talking about all that stuff I ran down. There's a different version of this and all this good stuff. So I had to actually run this down on YouTube on the original version of this EP. So I give you the version that was on the EP and not the version that was on Sun Ambulance In Sound Tour Support Series number 12. So I want you to get the real version. So you're going to see the song below. You're not going to see the Spotify bar moving because I'm playing it off of YouTube. Okay, that was a powerful one, right? I won't ever be happy again. So you can imagine that's not great. Upbeat lyrics. He talks about how things change is basically what he's doing, right? Through things. Like how we think things are going to be one way, but they just continue to change. Like, well, forest fenced becomes backyards, like songs are born from sound, and the apple fell and taught us all we are chained here to the ground, right? Gravity, so we can't go up. So I mean, here we go, but there ain't no escape. Yeah, these streets are just dead ends, so I won't ever be happy again. But he says, as the story goes, and it's often told, the new day will arise. And all the dance halls will be full of the skeletons. They're all coming back to life. So he's talking about the Bible, right? He's talking about when Jesus comes back. It says, on a grassy hill, the lion will lay down with the lamb, and it won't ever be lonely again. No. I mean, Connor has a complicated relationship with his spirituality, but until that time, I think I better find some disbelief to suspend because I don't want to feel like this again. So I thought the arrangement on it was fantastic. The production was very clear. He sounded great. So a good song. You're not going to listen to it, when you want to be pumped up or anything. I don't advise listening to it when you're not feeling great, but hey, it's a good track. Now we got No Lies, Just Love. Okay, No Lies, Just Love. I've heard this song before. There's a few of these songs I've heard before. I recognize them because I recognize them when I read the lyrics, right? But this song is insanely powerful, autobiographical of Connor. You're talking about when he was 17, bought some pills because he was going to end his life. And I wrote a letter to my family, said, it's not your fault. You've been good to me. Just lately I've been feeling like I don't belong, like the ground's not mine to walk upon. And talking about hearing the music in the house where his grandmother drank by herself, watching the flower and like appreciating the way it's withering away and its honesty. So I'd prefer to be remembered as a smiling face, not this effing wreck that's taken its place. So the chorus, so please forgive what I have done. Now you can't stay mad at the setting sun because we all get tired. I mean, eventually there's nothing left to do but sleep. So sleep is used in the Bible as the Apostle Paul uses it as like dying, right? So he's using it in that context. But then verse 2, it switches, right? But spring came bearing sunlight, those persuasive rays. So I gave myself a few more days. My salvation, it came quite suddenly when Justin spoke his brother very plainly. He said, now, of course, it's your decision. Just so you know, if you decide to leave, soon I will follow. So then verse 3, it flips more. I wrote this for a baby who is yet to be born, my brother's first child. So he's writing for, so I'd like to make some changes before you arrive. So when your new eyes meet mine, they won't see no lies, just love, just love. I will be pure. No, no, I know I will be pure, like snow, like gold. That song is crazy powerful. So well done. Next up, we got Kathy with a K song. But this is also off one of those companions. So I'm going to go back to YouTube because the one on the EP is like a minute longer. So I want to play that one. So once again, you're going to see the song below, but it's not going to move. All right, Kathy with a K's song. And I bet the version I didn't play cut out all that stuff at the end, right? It's returned, man. So me trying to stay pure to the EP, maybe dislike the song a little bit just at the end there, but a love song, man. A love song with the emotion. I like the kicked up instrumentation. A couple songs here, the last two previous songs, you heard a little steel pedal in there, so I'm sure it's Mike Mogus because he does that on a lot of the later Bright Eyes stuff. It just adds this depth and texture to it. But a really well-written song, a positive song for Connor here. So we're going to finish this thing off with Mirrors and Fevers. Remember, it was used as the intro into the 2006's Rarities compilation, Noise 4. But the version you see down below on Spotify is a different length than the version on the EP as well. So once again, you're going to see this down below, but I'm going over to YouTube to pull the version that was actually on this EP. All right, so we have the beginning noise, and there's not a lot of lyrics on this Mirror and Fevers, but he's telling you, I saw myself in the mirror, and this is halfway through the song, and I knew I would do like my father has done. Yes, we will never break from these chains. Your life is going to course like a history book. Don't be frightened of turning the page because it's all the same. It will always be the same. So we get the turning the page in there. So a good way to finish this off. Just almost like a half song in there, really. Now we're going to get to my favorite tracks. Honorable mention, going to go Going for the Gold, and then I Won't Ever Be Happy Again. Just I like the arrangement on that. Faves are going to be Oh, You Are the Roots That Sleep Beneath My Feet and Hold the Earth in Place, and No Lies, Just Love. Now we're going to get to my overall score. I thought it was going to reach an 8 for me. I'm going to go with a 7.75. It could be a 7.75 to an 8. It's definitely a step up from Every Day and Every Night, but a really good one. And it's evolving, man. It's evolving. You see what's about to be down the pike. So like I said before, go look at the Bright Eyes playlist or type Bright Eyes in the search bar. I've done so many of them. I'm a huge fan of Bright Eyes. I wasn't before, but thanks to Caitlin, I definitely am now. And also let me know what you think. What are your favorite tracks on this EP and the previous EP? What overall scores do you give them? Where do you think they kind of stand up? We've kind of made it one album. At least there's 11 tracks here, so 2 EPs, one album, so you can kind of put them in their place there in the catalog. But thanks again to Caitlin for bringing it. Until next time, guys, I will see you